Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. We'd like to thank everyone for logging in and for our Monday weekly briefing. And I can't believe it, but this is actually the last briefing for the month of November. It's amazing how time flies by. The overall pattern for this last week of November is going to be relatively quiet. So before I look ahead for the next 7 days, I want to look back since the last time we had a briefing. As many of you are aware, we've had an outstanding drought across the area over the last several months, and we've actually seen a fairly recent trend over the last 4 to 5 weeks. And last Thursday, this was the current drought status, and we've had the drought improving. And a lot of the areas had improved to just abnormally dry conditions. We still had a few spots that were under moderate drought conditions. So since that map was produced, this next slide here that shows the 7-day rainfall totals, you can see that there was a good part, especially the western part of the state, that saw in excess of 1 inch over the last several days. If you can remember that wet period we had late last week. A little bit drier to the east, but overall, we saw some, continued wet conditions, and we're expecting to see a continuation of the improvement of the drought. So, later this week when they issue the latest drought, we may see most of the state out of the drought. So that's good news as we head into the winter time, and then we emerge out of the winter time into the spring. We should be in fairly good condition as far as hydro wise. So that's good news. So now looking up for this next upcoming week, basically today through Tuesday, we're looking at dry conditions ahead of a cold front that will move into the area on Wednesday, and that will bring us a chance of some very light precipitation amounts, basically Wednesday into Wednesday evening. And once that goes through, we're looking at a cooler and dry Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving weekend. For the most part, the next cold front, as you can see in that bottom right image, will start approaching us late in the weekend. So we should start seeing increasing rain chances late Saturday night into Sunday. But that period basically from Thanksgiving Day through Saturday is going to be a dry period, and we're going to be slightly below normal. But, temperatures basically in the mid to upper 50s is not that bad for this time of year. So we hope everyone gets to enjoy that really beautiful weather we're expecting. Looking at the severe thunderstorm potential for the next 3 days, it's no surprise here. I'm not expecting any thunder. We're getting into that time of the year where we just don't see a lot of thunder with these cold fronts as they move into the area. So quiet on the thunderstorm potential. As I mentioned, we're looking at the 7-day rainfall total. You can see that on Wednesday, basically what the models are showing is we're showing a pretty organized area of showers in advance of that cold front Tuesday night into Wednesday. So you can see over the mountains, there's some decent rainfall amounts, but notice as you move west to east, you go to completely no precipitation. So with what it looks like is we'll see organized showers coming into the mountains Tuesday night, and that band of showers is going to basically weaken and fall apart as it moves east during the day on Wednesday. So not looking at really any significant rainfall for central North Carolina on Wednesday. There's that dry Thanksgiving period, and then you can see as you get into Saturday, Sunday, most of that will fall basically on Sunday. That next front, again, you can see, there is some heavy rainfall to the west of the mountains, but as that front comes east, we're expecting it to weaken. So for the next, several days, it looks like most of the area will see, very light precipitation amounts. The tropics, we're still talking about the tropics. And we did just have Sebastian. That was a tropical storm out in the Atlantic. Didn't pose any threat to land. But we're winding down, and the tropical, the official end of the season's coming up, and that's November 30th. So we're putting the end to the tropical season. How did that end up? How did the year end up? Well, here's a graphic here. We ended up, Sebastian actually formed after this graphic was created, so you need to add one more. But basically, we ended up with 18 storms, which, was a little above normal. So, the prediction that came out before the tropical season, it verified pretty well. You can see Dorian there that kind of brushed along our coast. So we were very fortunate that Dorian didn't make landfall. But yeah, you can see that, overall it was a fairly active tropical season. However, those impacts to the mainland of the United States were pretty minimal. So a quick summary, we're looking at above normal temperatures out ahead of that cold front on Wednesday. On Tuesday is really going to be the nicest day. I mean, we're looking at temperatures most everywhere is going to be in the mid to upper 60s tomorrow. So if you get a chance, that's going to be your day to really enjoy the warm weather. And then the scatter showers will come into the area on Wednesday. Again, that band of showers is expected to weaken and fall apart as it moves west to east through the area. Behind that front, we're going to see dry and cool conditions Thanksgiving Day and into the weekend. And then our next chance of rain will come late Saturday into Sunday night. And again, none of the systems are expected to bring really significant rainfall. Well, that's going to conclude the briefing.